Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sāma Veda Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, I welcome you to today's Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I welcome you to today's Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita session. Today is March 20th, 2026. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 7, the killing of the demon Trinavarta. We've been reading about Shakatasura. Yesterday we saw that when the Gopas and Gopis heard from the boys, the little children, that it was because of that Krishna cried, and just now, first he cried and then he started kicking, and just as soon as he kicked, and it happened just now, right? He kicked, and by his kicking, the whole cart, Shakata, was overturned. This is what happened. You should not doubt this. So when the Gopas and Gopis heard this, they didn't get faith in the words of the children. They thought this is childish talk. And why they thought it is childish talk, why they didn't get faith in the words of the children? Because they were not aware of the inconceivable power, unlimited power of Krishna, who was there now as a baby. They didn't know of Krishna's powers. They didn't know of Krishna's powers means that that Aishwarya Gyanam doesn't stay in them. Even if they saw wonderful things happening, still they cannot conceive that Krishna could have done it. Also, we saw after this, the baby Krishna was crying. So first he cried because Mother Yashoda was not coming. And then he kicked his foot and the cart overturned. And after that, he had accomplished whatever he wanted to accomplish. Obviously, needless to say, Shakatasura demon was also killed. And now everyone had come. He wanted the attention, so everyone had come there Yashoda Mai, Nanda Mahārāja, all the Vrajvasis, the brāhmaṇas, everybody was there. And to hide his Aishwarya, he begins to cry again. So at first they were all asking what happened, what happened. And then Yashoda Mai saw, oh, Krishna is crying. So seeing her crying baby, she picked him up and she thought that, Yashoda Graha Shankita, she suspected this is the work of some evil planet, some evil star. Otherwise, how did a cart which is just parked like that just fall down? Without any earthquake, without being, without any tornado, without an elephant coming and pushing it. How did it just fall down? This must be the work of some evil star. But in spite of that, my baby is saved. So immediately, Yashoda Mai began to pray to Bhagavan. Who is her Bhagavan? Lord Narayan, not Krishna. And she's praying and thanking the Lord for protecting Krishna. Even though such a big calamity happened, Krishna was completely untouched, unharmed. Then she started nursing Krishna, giving him her breast milk. And she called all the brāhmaṇas to chant the swastyayanam. Swastyayanam means chanting the mantras for the auspiciousness, for the protection of the baby. So then we will see what happened after that. We will see today. Text 12. Pūrvavat sthāpitaṁ gopair balibhiḥ sa-paricchadam viprā hutvārcayāṁ cakrur dadhy-akṣata-kuśāmbubhiḥ pūrvavat sthāpitaṁ gopair balibhiḥ sa-paricchadam viprā hutvārcayāṁ cakrur dadhy-akṣata-kuśāmbubhiḥ pūrvavat, like before, sthāpitam, situated, gopai, all the gopas. Which gopas? Balibhiḥ, the strong, stalwart gopas. Sa-paricchadam. So they once again assembled that cart. Sa-paricchadam means with all the paraphernalia also. So now see, what was the condition of the cart? The cart was completely dismantled. The wheels had separated, maybe even bent. The spokes had all come out. Axle was separated. The pole was separated. And what to speak of all the pots that were filled with ingredients, everything had fallen down. So to once again assemble this cart was not an easy task. So after seeing to the protection of Krishna, Yashoda Mai gave her breast milk to Krishna. So by that, Krishna is now pacified. And also the brāhmaṇas have chanted the swastyayanam. Now Nanda Mahārāja arranged for, hey, Rasapriya, don't do that. That's dangerous. Too tall. So, pūrvavat sthāpitam gopair. Pūrvavat. So Nanda Mahārāja called stalwart gopas to assemble, because it's not easy. It's a very big cart. So it took really strong gopas to put the cart together, put the wheels together, and then, reassemble the whole cart. So Nanda Mahārāja arranged for that. He called all the gopas, and together all the gopas, especially the stalwart ones, they got together. Balibhiḥ, sthāpitam. Once again, they assembled the cart along with sa-paricchadam. So all the other paraphernalia, that means the pots were once again, arranged on top of the cart like that. So that was done. Then, so now the Shakata is once again, put together. You can also imagine here, so it would have taken some time, isn't it? It all started off with a big festival. So for the festival, we saw there were, there was a feast arranged. First of all, the brāhmaṇas were worshipped. Actually, first Abhishek was performed for Krishna. So we have experience of Abhishek of Krishna on Janmashtami. How long does it take performing Abhishek of Krishna? It's a project, isn't it? It's a big project. So that was done, and then and after that Krishna was sleeping under the cart, then taking care of all the guests. Now prasadam service, right? And not just simply prasadam service, giving them gifts, and there was all these musicians and so many. So all that was happening, okay? And then in the middle now this Shakata is broken. So everybody's, they just dropped, they were eating and doing different things. They all came running, and then they were confused. So that must have taken some time. It's okay, you can use. So that must have taken some time figuring out what happened, and that happened. Then finally, Yashoda Mai is picked up baby Krishna and nursed him, and once again the brāhmaṇas are chanting mantras, swastiyanam, right? That happened. Now they reassembled the whole Shakata. So that must have taken time, possibly the whole day, maybe, with all these activities. So pūrvavat, sthāpitaṁ, gopair, balibhiḥ, sa-paricchadam. Then after this, once again, after the cart was nicely, reassembled, viprā hutvārcayāṁ cakrur dadhy-akṣata-kuśāmbubhiḥ. Now the vipras, the brāhmaṇas, they performed a fire sacrifice again for the, they're actually worshipping the Shakata. When you say they're worshipping the Shakata, who are they worshipping? They're worshipping the deity. So today also you will see, they worship the various implements and tools that are used in occupational activities, occupational duties, like your plow or any sort of machinery or even weapons, depending on which varna you are. On Vishwakarma Puja Day, we see it even now, here in India, we see in Mayapur, we see the local people here, they worship the deity in that, it just shows how personal the Vedic culture is. It's not impersonal. Even if you're using a machine, you see the deity behind, and there is gratitude. So they actually, after reassembling the cart, they worshipped the deity behind. So that was done. So what did they do? Viprā hutvārcayāṁ cakrur. So they performed fire sacrifice and Hutva performed fire sacrifice, Archayam Chakruhu, and then Archana, right? The worshipping, whatever different worshipping rituals are there, they perform that. Then Dadhi means yogurt, Akshata means grains, whole grains. Then Kuśa grass, Ambubhiḥ means water. So now they sprinkled all auspicious ingredients in this worship. So they performed fire sacrifice, then they worshipped, and then they offered various ingredients auspicious ingredients like yogurt, whole grains, and also kuśa grass is, you know kuśa grass? Kuśa grass is used in all yagyas, Agnihotra yagyas. Kuśa grass is actually the hair of Lord Varahadev. When Varahadev appeared, and when he just shook himself, the hairs from his body fell down on the earth, and that grew the form of kuśa grass. So kuśa grass is used always in Agnihotra yagyas. So this kuśa grass is dipped in water. Ambubhi means water, and that water is sprinkled like this. So it was sprinkled on the cart, and also, on Krishna also, for his protection, like that. So let's read now. After the strong, if you want to know the pattern, what I'm doing is just explaining to you the words, and through the words, just trying to get an overall meaning of the shloka. Also, of course, I take help from the classes of His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj. So I will get a proper understanding of the verse itself. Then we will actually read Srila Prabhupada's translation and purport. Okay, that's the pattern I'm following. So translation. After the strong, stout, cowherd men assembled the pots and paraphernalia on the handcart and set it up as before, the brāhmaṇas performed a ritualistic ceremony with a fire sacrifice to appease the bad planet, and then with rice, grains, kuśa, water, and curd, they worship the Supreme Lord, like that. Purport. The handcart was loaded with heavy utensils. One more thing I must tell you, sorry. When I say that, that when I told you that even to this day we see that people worship on, they do Vishwakarma Puja. Vishwakarma Puja, they're worshipping demigods. Vrajvasis will not worship demigods. Vrajvasis will worship the Supreme Lord, Narayan only. Sometimes you may get a question that the young gopis, they were worshipping goddess Durga to get Krishna as their husband. There we get the explanation from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that the Durga that the gopis were worshipping was not Mahamaya, that was Yogamaya. Why this point has to be stressed? The devotees of the Lord, pure devotees of the Lord, they will never do anything which is against the principles of pure devotional service. Sometimes if you see that, so demigod worship is not there. So even when we talk about Daiva Varnashrama community, when you follow Varnashrama Dharma also, we will only accept those principles of Varnashrama which are conducive to pure devotional service. We will not accept those portions of Varnashrama which are not conducive, which are against the principles of pure devotion. Worshipping of demigods in the Daiva Varnashrama community. That has to be clear. So even in Vrajvasis, we will see their life and soul is Krishna. However, because of that intense madhurya, madhurya means that sweetness, that intimacy, where there is no Aishwarya. Aishwarya cannot stand there. That means Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That type of knowledge does not stand in them. So we discussed that when we were discussing the functions of Yogamaya. So by Yogamaya's influence on the pure devotees of the Lord, who have realized the Supreme Lord, then she acts in different ways to achieve different purposes. So that is understood. So here the Brajvasis, when I said that they worshipped the deity, who are they worshipping? They're worshipping the Supreme Lord. They worship Lord Narayan. That has to be understood. And sometimes even if you see that there is some demigod worship, like in the gopis case, young gopis case, they were actually worshipping Yogamaya, Durga, who is in the spiritual world, not the Mahamaya, who is worshipped in this world. That has to be clear. Okay. So, yeah, the handcart was loaded with heavy utensils and other paraphernalia. To set the cart back in its original position required much strength, but this was easily done by the cowherd men. Then, according to the system of the Gopa Jati, various Vedic ceremonies were performed to appease the calamitous situation. Next, text 13 to 15. Ye sūyānṛta-dambherṣā hiṁsā-māna-vivarjitāḥ na teṣāṁ satya-śīlānām āśiṣo viphalāḥ iti bālakam ādāya sāmarg-yajur-upākṛtaiḥ jalaihi pavitraushadhibhir abhishitya dvijottamaihi vācayitva svastyayanam nanda-gopaḥ samāhitaḥ hutvārcayāṁ dvijatibhyah prādād annam mahā-guṇam. Ye asūya anrita dambha isha. So who, see here Nanda Mahārāja is thinking. What is Nanda Mahārāja thinking? Yaha means that. That who? We'll see who is that. Asuya. Asuya means what? Being envious, right? That means somebody who is not happy to see another person become successful. Ye suya. So vivarjita, you should pay attention to vivarjita. Vivarjita means without. So those who are without asuya, enviousness, anrita. Arita means truthfulness. Anrita means those who lie, right? Those who are not truthful. That those who are without untruthfulness. Okay? Without asuya, that means without jealousy, without envy, without untruthfulness. Dambha. Dambha means you try to project yourself as somebody that you actually are not in order to cheat others, right? You try to show yourself as someone great in order to cheat others. So someone who is not vivarjitaha, who does not have this dambha, then irsha. Irsha is also, so there must be some difference, otherwise why both are said, asuya and irsha. Irsha is like you feel jealous, right? Asuya, anrita, dambha, irsha. Then himsa, violence. Mana. Mana means thinking very great of oneself or expecting respect for yourself. Amanina manadena is said, right? So one who does not expect any respect for oneself and gives all respect to others. There we see in Sri Shikshashtakam. But here mana means you are actually expecting respect for yourself. So one who is free from this type of from these qualities of, thinking great about yourself and therefore you're expecting respect, or who is violent to others, who cannot tolerate another person's success, and who is dambha, who pretends to be somebody that he is not in order to cheat others, and who is not truthful, and asūya. Asūya means envious. So a person who does not have any of these qualities, who's free from all these qualities, na teṣāṁ satya-śīlānām, and also satya-śīlānām, they are always truthful, right? Satya-śīlānām means they are dwelling in the truth. That means when they say something, their words cannot become untruthful, because they don't have all these qualities, bad qualities. Who are we talking about? We are talking about brāhmaṇas. And specifically, even in brāhmaṇas, the devotees of the Lord, the Vaishnavas, who don't have asūya, who don't have jealousy or untruthfulness, or dambha. What is the word for dambha in English? Is there any one word, like a pretender, I guess, you show off as some big shot, but actually you're not. So dambha, then īrśā, feeling jealous, hiṁsā-māna-vivarjitāḥ. So those who don't have all these qualities, they are always dwelling in the truth. That means when they say something, that has to come true. It cannot go false. Satya-śīlānām. Now, when they say something, such personalities, when they bless someone, because their words are always truthful, when they bless somebody, there is no question of them superficially blessing someone, although not doing it in their heart, because it is already said they don't have untruthfulness. They're always truthful. So there's no question of faking in their case. If they are blessing someone, that means they're actually genuinely blessing, because they are not, they cannot fake. They're truthful. So such personalities, when they bless, their blessings can never become fruitless. Viphalāḥ, āśiṣo viphalāḥ. It's not possible that their blessings will ever go futile. It's not possible. Who's thinking like this? Nanda Mahārāja is thinking. So, thinking like this, what is he thinking? That those devotees, those brāhmaṇas who are free from asūya, ānrita-dambha, īrśā, hiṁsā, māna, who are always dwelling in truth, their blessings can never go futile. Thinking like this, what did Nanda Mahārāja do? Iti, thinking like this, bālakam ādāya, Bālakam, Krishna. Ādāya means, remember, yesterday in previous verse also we saw, ādāya means picking up, taking in one's lap or in one's arm. So, until now, Krishna was in the arms of Yashoda Mai. Yes, Yashoda Mai was nursing Krishna, and then he's there in Yashoda Mai's arms. So now Nanda Mahārāja, after reassembling the cart and everything, and they worshipped, they performed the yajna. Now, considering that the blessings given by such pure souls, they will never go false, thinking like this, he took Krishna from the arms of Yashoda Mai. Iti bālakam ādāya sāmarg-yajur-upākṛtaiḥ jalaiḥ pavitra aushadibhir abhishitya dvijottamaiḥ. So what did Nanda Mahārāja do? He had these dvijottamah. Amongst the dvijas, uttamaha, right? The best of the twice born. So here we should understand not just the brāhmanas, because when you say dvijas, brāhmanas are also twice born, kshatriyas, vaishyas are also twice born. So what did Nanda Mahārāja do? He had them chant the mantras from Sāma Veda, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda. And then while chanting those mantras, they were also doing that particular, what do you say, activity. What was that? Jalaihi pavitra aushadibhir abhishitya. So they performed, abhishitya means bathing. Yes. So they bathed Krishna's body with water in which there were, pure ingredients, aushadi, like medicinal herbs were put in that, in the water. And they performed the abhishek while chanting the mantras from Sāma Veda, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda. So there are 4 Vedas. The 4th one is Atharva Veda. You won't see that Atharva Veda mantras are being chanted in Vedic ceremonies because Atharva Veda consists of black magic. Yes, but that is also used. That also has a purpose. That is used, in cases of emergency and self-defense, in times of war, like that. That also comes to use. But generally, so that's why we don't see Atharva Veda mentioned. So Sāma, Rig, Yajur, Upākṛtaiḥ. What is Upākṛtaiḥ? Upākṛtaiḥ. Purified by such means. Yes. So how purified? They performed abhishek with water and other mixed with these herbs and these dvijas. Who are the dvijas? The brāhmaṇas and also Nanda Mahārāja, because he's also a dvija. So they were all performing abhishek of Krishna for Krishna's protection. Abhishek means, they were sprinkling the water on Krishna like that. Then vācayitva swastyayanam. And Nanda Mahārāja had them utter swastyayanam mantras. That means protection mantras. Mantras for the auspiciousness of Krishna. It could have been Namaste Narasimhaya and, other mantras for the protection, right? Also, the Narasimha Kavacha, like that, for Krishna's protection. Nanda Mahārāja had the brāhmanas recite or utter the mantras for Krishna's protection. Vācayitva swastyayanam nanda-gopaḥ samāhitaḥ hutvārcayāṁ dvijatibhyah prādād annam mahā-guṇam. So after that, so hutvārcayāṁ. So once again, Agni means that fire sacrifice, right? So they offered oblations in that fire sacrifice while chanting swastyayanam, swaha, swaha, like that. Various oblations were offered in that fire sacrifice by the dvijas. Then what happens after a fire sacrifice? Always there is a feast. The brāhmanas must be nicely fed. So already, that's why I was saying, you should understand, earlier for Krishna's Uttana ceremony, already the feast was cooked and served and everybody was fed. That happened. We should understand that so much time passed by now, and this Shakata Bhanjana also happened, and then they put the whole thing together. Once again, now for the protection of Krishna, now they're chanting mantras, they're doing Agnihotra again. So all this is happening. Meanwhile, you can also understand that in the kitchen, cooking is going on. Apparently, Maharaj said, constant cooking must be going on. Either they had a separate cooking facility for the brāhmanas, or because everybody is a Brajabasi, right? All are devotees there. So there's just a common kitchen for everyone, but cooking was going on. It is assumed, it is understood. So after all this yagya, now once again, they're being fed. The brāhmanas are fed, right? So prādād annam mahā-guṇam. Prādād means they were given in charity. Prādād annam. Annam means annam, right? Rice, a feast. But what is the significance? Mahā-guṇam, first class. First class, the feast which was made with first class ingredients. In what sense first class? First class in the sense that they were, they would increase one's life, right? They would increase one's health, longevity, and, like that. Very auspicious and like that. Mahā-guṇam. They're filled with great qualities. Such annam, right? Such a feast was served. Not that, oh, because it's a feast and so many people will be eating, so we will just use all cheap quality things, right? Not like that. That's cheap mentality where we will want to use good quality for ourselves in the family, and when we are throwing a feast for many persons, then we use all cheap ingredients, and then externally we show that, oh, we are doing we are feeding so many brāhmaṇas and Vaishnavas, but actually no. That's why the consciousness is important. The whole idea of feeding is, what was Nanda Mahārāja's thinking? If these brāhmanas are satisfied, that means if we can really please them, do good to them, right? If we can satisfy them nicely, give the best we have to them, and when they bless, then their blessings can never go false. They won't go false. They will always be. So that used to be the consciousness in the Vedic society. When people would feed brāhmanas. So of course, over a period of time, things got degraded. Now, first of all, the brāhmanas also, because of not... So that is why in the beginning, the qualities of brāhmanas are said. They're free from all those qualities. They're not untruthful. One quality. They're free from, greed and jealousy and things like that. They didn't have those things. Such brāhmanas. And people would be wanting to feed such brāhmanas, because if simply the brāhmanas are satisfied, and especially in brāhmanas also, what to speak of Vaishnavas, then that's the best for householders. If you serve the Vaishnavas, then your children are protected. Maharaj says that in the class. His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj says that. So, okay. So you understood what happened here. Ye sūyānṛta-dambherṣā hiṁsā-māna-vivarjitāḥ na teṣāṁ satya-śīlānām āśiṣo viphalāḥ. That means their āśiṣa, their blessings can never go fruitless. Iti bālakam ādāya sāmarg-yajur-upākṛtaiḥ jalaiḥ pavitrauṣadibhir abhishicya-dvijottamaihi. Thinking like this, Nanda Mahārāja picked up Krishna, took Krishna from Yashoda Mai's arms, and had him sprinkled, or his abhishek performed with water and other pure medicinal herbs, while chanting mantras from Sāma Veda, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, and by the twice born. And also Vācayitva swastyayanam, he had them chant swastyayanam, protective mantras. Nanda-gopaḥ samahitaḥ, right? So along with all the gathered personalities, Nanda-gopaḥ, Nanda Mahārāja had everyone chant swastyayanam. Hutvārcayāṁ dvijatibhyaḥ pradad annam mahā-guṇam. Then after offering oblations in that fire sacrifice, he gave in charity. Once again, there was a feast fed to all the dvijas who performed this swastyayanam. He fed them once again. What type of annam? Mahā-guṇam, which was filled with all wonderful qualities. Yes, Mataji, wherever there is Vedic culture still protected, there you will find it. Yes. Next. Now let's read Srila Prabhupada's translation and purport. When brāhmanas are free from envy, untruthfulness, unnecessary pride, dambha, unnecessary pride, grudges, irsha means grudges, disturbance by the opulence of others, right? So this must be irsha, disturbance by the opulence of others, and false prestige. Their blessings never go in vain. When they are free from all these qualities, then their blessings never go in vain. Considering this, Nanda Mahārāja soberly took Krishna on his lap and invited such truthful brāhmaṇas to perform a ritualistic ceremony according to the holy hymns of the Sāma Veda, Veda and Yajur Veda. Then, while the hymns were being chanted, he bathed the child with water mixed with pure herbs, and after performing a fire ceremony, he sumptuously fed all the brāhmanas with first-class grains and other food. Report. Nanda Mahārāja was very confident about the qualifications of the brāhmanas and their blessings. That's the point, right? So we cannot be just, sentimental that somebody has, has the title, the last name of a brāhmana, so this person is a brāhmana. No. Chaturvarnam maya srishtam guna karma vibhāgashah. This chaturvarna, brāhmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra, is not by birth. It is by guna and karma. So gunas, what are the qualities you have to see? Based on the qualities, then he is identified either as a brāhmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra. Of course, it's not that, you and I will decide. That will be decided by the spiritual master. Because he is expert. He is able to see. So Nanda Mahārāja was very confident about the qualifications of the brāhmanas and their blessings. He was fully confident that simply, if the good brāhmanas showered their blessings, the child Krishna would be happy. The blessings of qualified brāhmanas can bring happiness not only to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It can bring happiness not only to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but to everyone. Of course, if Krishna's... Okay, now you... So, when the brāhmanas bless Krishna, Nanda Mahārāja is thinking, now Krishna will be protected, right? So, why? Because Nanda Mahārāja sees Krishna only as his son. Nanda Mahārāja does not see Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Out of his intense love, parental love, paternal love, he wants to protect Krishna. So, in order to get all blessings for Krishna, so that he will remain healthy, he will have a long life, and all his, he'll have wealth, everything will grow for him, right? His wealth and his health and his long life, like that. He's seeking the blessings of all these brāhmanas. And Nanda Mahārāja was confident of the qualification of the brāhmanas and their blessings. So he was fully confident that simply if the good brāhmanas showered their blessings, the child Krishna would be happy. The blessings of qualified brāhmanas can bring happiness not only to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but to everyone. Because Krishna is self-sufficient, he does not require anyone's blessings. Yes, it's not that Krishna is happy because he got the blessings of brāhmanas. It's not like that. He doesn't need anyone's blessings. Yet, Nanda Mahārāja thought that Krishna required the blessings of the brāhmanas. So, Srila Prabhupada is saying here, if Nanda Mahārāja is thinking that Krishna needs the blessings of brāhmanas, what then is to be said of others? Don't we need the blessings of such pure brāhmanas? In human society, therefore, there must be an ideal class of men, brāhmanas, who can bestow blessings upon others, namely upon the kshatriyas, vaishyas, and shudras, so that everyone will be happy. So, my dear devotees, just pay attention in the purports. When Srila Prabhupada mentions brāhmanas, kshatriyas, vaishyas, shudras, Srila Prabhupada is our acharya. He is our founder acharya for this movement. And it is not fair for us to override what Srila Prabhupada says in the purports, in his classes, in his lectures, right? And for us to say that, no, this is not practical now. This is not applicable in today's world. Then if we say this is not applicable in today's world, it will also mean that Srila Prabhupada's purports are not applicable in today's world, then his teachings are not applicable in today's world. They were applicable maybe in the 60s and 70s when Prabhupada taught. Should we conclude like that? No, that's an offense to say that. It's an offense. It's not that it is not applicable today. So we cannot say that. We should not say that. In human society, therefore, there must be an ideal class of men. Srila Prabhupada is saying there must be. There must be. That's all. There must be an ideal class of men. Brāhmaṇas. And we cannot have simply Brāhmaṇas. Of course, Brāhmaṇas are most important. The head is important. But that does not mean that simply if you have the head, everything else will go on. The body needs head, arms, stomach, legs, everything is needed. So a society will need everyone. So in human society, there must be an ideal class of men, Brāhmaṇas, who can bestow blessings upon others, namely upon the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras, so that everyone will be happy. Krishna therefore says in Bhagavad Gita 4:13 that human society must have 4 social orders. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhāgashah. It is not that everyone should become a Shudra or a Vaishya and human society will prosper. Is this not what is happening in today's world? Directly, Srila Prabhupada's statement in the purport. Srila Prabhupada is saying it is not that everyone should become a Shudra. Shudra means what? You take employment, you work for somebody else, and then that person pays you. That's a Shudra. So it is not that everyone in society should become a Shudra or a Vaishya. At best, what will people do? You have your own business. That's Vaishya. But is that all we need in society? And Brāhmaṇas are not just, 1 or 2 pujaris we have on the altar. That's about it. No. Like here, we need the blessings of Brāhmaṇas. Brāhmaṇas, then what are the qualities of Brāhmaṇas we saw in the previous? There has to be a whole culture. There has to be that type of education. There has to be a society. Of course, the goal of the society should be pure devotional service. And the whole plan is chalked out very nicely. First of all, given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, passed on to his immediate disciples, the Goswamis. That is why Srila Sanatan Goswami gave us Hari Bhakti Vilas. Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami gave us Satkriya Sara Deepika. These books are giving us what type of samskaras should be followed by the devotees of Krishna. So even though you're devotees, still you have to follow karma. What type of karma we should do? That is given. Because it's not that as soon as we come in contact with the devotees, immediately we become pure devotees. There is an in-between period before we get that firm faith and we begin pure devotional service. So while we are in that stage, what type of karma should be done? What type of samskara should be observed? In what way? So that it does not interfere with our goal of pure devotional service. The plan is already there. And if we can, without bias, if we actually reach Srila Prabhupada's purpose, these things will be very clearly visible to us. So here, Krishna therefore says in Bhagavad Gita that human society must have 4 social orders. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhāgashah. It is not that everyone should become a Shudra or a Vaishya. And even simply having a farm and growing our food is not sufficient. Simply being a Vaishya is not sufficient. We have our cows and we have our land. But what will we do when we are attacked from outside? We need to have our Kshatriyas also. All 4 are required. We need Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Everybody is required. But everyone will become pure devotees because we are not identifying ourselves as Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras. Right now, because I didn't get that Dhrida Shraddha, I am acting. I am working according to my nature. But the goal is transcend all these modes and come to the platform of pure devotional service. But don't cheat. While you are still in the bodily platform, don't take the privilege which is given to the pure devotees. It is for the pure devotees who are 24/7 completely in touch with Krishna, either through body, mind, or words, engaged in devotional service to Krishna. For them, there is no need of following any karma or any dharma. Yes, they should not follow also. Because if they follow, if they feel that, oh, if I don't follow my dharma, my brahmana dharma, kshatriya dharma, then I'm committing sin. If they feel that type of dependence, then they're not pure devotees. Then they're not pure devotees. But they still do it to set example to others. Externally, in their heart, they don't feel any dependence on that. That's a whole different story for pure devotees. Okay? But Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashah, it is not that everyone should become a Shudra or Vaishya and human society will prosper. No, it will not prosper. Srila Prabhupada could have said here that you simply chant Hare Krishna. There's no need to do all this. You chant your 16 rounds, and you can do whatever you like for your livelihood. You can do any type of work. And how you're getting implicated, I am just doing one job. But in that organization, how much sin is being done? How is it related to drilling the earth? How is it related to killing cows? And in the, so many types of sins. Am I not getting implicated by money from such a master? Of course I will get implicated. And that is why my bhakti is not progressing properly. I'm not getting any taste. When Srila Prabhupada says simple living, high thinking, it's not so simple. Simple means simple, actually simple. We cannot just make that statement very light and say, no, we will do whatever work we like and still we will progress. It does not work like that. As enunciated in Bhagavad Gita, there must be a class of brāhmanas with qualities. See, qualities. Are we checking for these qualities? When we give, when we call someone a brahmana, or at least, initiation means, yes, of course, it's beginning. But then we expect that when someone takes brahmana initiation, then they will develop these qualities. Not that decades and decades are passing by and we don't see any of these qualities of truthfulness, peacefulness, right? Self-control, tolerance. And this is still a brahmana. What to speak of a Vaishnava? Where are we going wrong? We should think. As enunciated in Bhagavad Gita, there must be a class of brahmanas with qualities like satya, shama, dama, and titiksha. Here also in the Bhagavatam, Nanda Mahārāja invites qualified brahmanas. There may be caste brahmanas, see. There may be caste brahmanas. And we have all respect for them. But their birth in brahmana families does not mean that they are qualified to bestow blessings upon the other members of human society. By birth, you are brahmana, and again, that's not all. There's nothing, we're not disrespecting them, those who have taken birth in brahmana families. But if you want to get the certificate of a brahmana, simply taking birth in a brahmana family is not sufficient. In addition to that, you must show by your guna, qualities, and by the type of occupational work that you're doing with which you're sustaining yourself. You cannot say that I am a software professional, but I have a title of like a Bhattacharya or whatever, and then therefore I am a brahmana. That will not be accepted, because a brahmana must have the qualities, guna and karma. Karma is also important. Then what is the karma of a brahmana? Pathan, yajan, yajan, dana, pratigraha. This is the karma of a brahmana. He will teach, he will study Shastra, all types of Shastra, all Vedas, everything he will study. And then he will teach. That's a brahmana's karma. Pathan, yajan, yajan. He will worship for himself, he will worship, but he will also worship for others, other members in society, like a purohit. And he will train others also in how to worship. Those who are dvijas, he will train them. Yajan, yajan. Dana pratigraha. Then how does he maintain himself? He'll get donation. He will not accept any employment from anyone or run a business. No, Brahmana will not do that. He will accept charity. And it's not that when he gets charity, with his charity, he will now become, a very wealthy person. No, he will only take whatever he needs for his maintenance, actually strict brahmanas only take for that day, or even for 1 day they'll take, and then the rest they immediately distribute. You know why? Because brahmanas, if they accumulate, naturally you get donations. Brahmanas, if you are a pure brahmana, like we are seeing here, Nanda Mahārāja giving so much donation, that brahmana's purity is maintained when he does not accumulate. Even though he gets so much, he should not stock it. He should not pile it up. He should not save it, not even for tomorrow. What to speak of for my future generations or for my entire life after my retirement? No way. That's not a brahmana. Just see what is the standard of Vedic culture. Such high standards we have got. We should feel proud of having, and now if you see those who are the top personalities, and if you just look into their history or into their, private lives, you will see they're involved in all types of sinful activities. All types of sinful activities, which cannot even be mentioned. And they are our leaders. And in Bhagavatam, we have leaders like Parikshit Maharaj, like Yudhishthir Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, Bharat Maharaj, Priyavrat Maharaj. So who are our role models? Who do we want to follow? Do we simply want to keep them in the books? We don't want to accept them in our lives. We don't want to make them our role models and follow in their footsteps. So, what happened? Okay. So here also in the Bhagavatam, Nanda Mahārāja invites qualified brahmanas. There may be caste brahmanas and we have all respect for them, but their birth in brahmana families does not mean that they are qualified to bestow blessings upon the other members of human society. Srila Prabhupada gives one example in one class that, Srila Prabhupada saw in, I think in Calcutta, like one person is pulling the thela, like human beings pulling, like you have like a rickshaw, right? It's actually you're pedaling it, but you will see, I don't know if it is still existing now. I haven't seen recently. I haven't gone there, but I have seen it. Probably 20 years ago in Calcutta, I have seen. Human beings are actually doing the job of a horse, pulling the cart, which is loaded with either people can be sitting there actually walking and pulling the cart, giving rides to people walking, so taking them from one place to another, or it can be loaded with a lot of goods, and then they're just pulling. So one such person was pulling, and another person comes and says, "Pai lagu Panditji," right? I'm touching your feet for blessings. That person is pulling the cart, and another person is saying, "Pai lagu Panditji," and this person is saying, "Jita raho." He's also, the person pulling the cart is saying, "I'm giving you blessings." What type of work is he doing? Is he doing the work of a brahmana? No, he's doing the work of a Shudra. Then does he have the authority to bless the other members of society? Here Srila Prabhupada is saying no. No. What is the meaning of Panditji? There may be caste brahmanas and we have all respect for them, but their birth in brahmana families does not mean that they are qualified to bestow blessings upon the other members of human society. This is the verdict of the Shastras. Shastra Pramanam. Ultimate. You cannot cross, you cannot, cut what is said in the Shastras. Of course, in Shastras, you have, if there is different statements in different Shastras, then you should know which Shastra takes precedence, which statement. So that work has been done by Srila Jiva Goswami. The ultimate Chakravarti, emperor, authority in all Shastras is Srimad Bhagavatam. When there is a statement said in Srimad Bhagavatam, that is the ultimate. That's the ultimate. This is the verdict of the Shastras. What is the verdict? That a person, even though he may be born in a Brahmana family, if he is not showing the qualities of a Brahmana, then he is not qualified, right? Then he cannot bestow blessings upon others like a Brahmana. This is the verdict of the Shastra. In Kali Yuga, caste Brahmanas are accepted as Brahmanas. Vipratve sutram evahi. This is said in Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a sign of Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, simply by putting on a thread worth 2 paise, one becomes a Brahmana. Such Brahmanas were not called for by Nanda Mahārāja. So Nanda Mahārāja is not calling someone who simply has the title of a Brahmana. No. Brahmana means he is known by his guna, by his qualities. There is no envy, there is no irsha, there is no dambha, there is no untruthfulness. Such Brahmanas were called for by Nanda Mahārāja, as stated by Narad Muni in Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 11th chapter, text 35. Yasya yal lakshanam proktam. Yasya yal lakshanam. Lakshanam means characteristics. Proktam. The symptoms of a Brahmana are stated in Shastra, and one must be qualified with these symptoms. Yes. Symptoms of a Brahmana are stated. Even in Bhagavad Gita, we have the qualities of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Krishna has said, if it is not important, if it is not practical in Kali Yuga, why Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, why Vyasadeva is saying in Bhagavatam, in the 7th canto, Bhagavatam was given, and Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, these were given by Vyasadeva specifically for the people of Kali Yuga. So it is not fair, it is not correct to speak like that, this Varnashrama is not meant for Kali Yuga. It's not correct to say that. The symptoms of a Brahmana are stated because we are seeing the proof here in Srila Prabhupada's purport. He gave his life for this movement, to give us this movement. How can we just, cut pieces here and there and say, no, not this, not that? We don't have that authority. The symptoms of a Brahmana are stated in Shastra, and one must be qualified with these symptoms. We can try, we can just keep reading. I may not be able to practice it right now, but to say that, no, this is not practical, this is not possible, that becomes an offense. Yes, in the current situation, I'm not able to do, then pray to Krishna. Krishna, how do I do that? I know you're asking us to do this. I don't see how to do it. It's not possible by one person's effort. How can we do this? Pray. How much did Srila Prabhupada pray to start this movement? All his contemporaries, they were all saying, when, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu statement, Prithivite Ache Jatto Nagaradi Gram Sarvatra Prachar Hoibe Mornam, they said, no, this is not. How is it possible? In every town and village, Krishna's names will be chanted. How much Srila Prabhupada prayed. Practically all his life, he struggled like anything to push this movement. That is called faith in the word of the Acharya. That is called faith in the words of the Lord. The whole world is against. It doesn't make sense. But the Lord has said, this must be true. The Acharya said, this must be true. With no support whatsoever, single-handedly, he pushed. And we don't know, actually, most of his struggles, we don't even know. Whatever little here and there which came out, or which he happened to say some things, that's all we know. That's not the full picture. How many letters he has written to each and every leader at the time, do you know? To Jawaharlal Nehru, to, Lal Bahadur Shastri, to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So many, Rajendra, what's his name? Rajendra. What's the first president of India? Anyway, he wrote to everybody. They're all there in Veda base. If you see, you will see Srila Prabhupada's letters. And you will see what was his vision. But what I'm saying is, we don't have the authority to just negate what is said in Shastra. Based on my intelligence, my mind, I just decide that no, this is not possible now. From my experience, I'm saying this cannot be. We cannot say that. How did Srila Prabhupada push the movement? Single-handedly. And now everyone is surprised how he was able to do that. He prayed and prayed in Vrindavan, in front of the samadhi of Srila Rupa Goswami. He would pray. He would be sweeping all night long. He would be crying. At 1 in the morning, he would get up and he would be crying and sweeping the courtyard and praying every day. Nobody was watching him. So, first thing is, we should have that faith in the words of the Acharya, in his purports. And then if I don't understand, then pray. Pray to him. Pray to the Lord to please give me the intelligence. What is your plan? How am I to understand this? Please give me, please allow me to understand. Like that, we have to pray. But to say that, no, this is not practical, this is not right, and then we introduce our own systems which are not there in Shastra, there is no limit to that. When we start changing things from what is given in Shastra, there is no limit. When an Acharya makes some adjustments according to time, place, and circumstance, those adjustments are temporary for the time being. Acharya is authorized to do that. Now, taking Acharya's example, now if we start making changes, adjustments, which are not given by Acharya also, then there won't be any end to the change. We will go far away from Shastra. Always we have to come back to the statements of scripture. What is the ultimate pramana? Srimad Bhagavatam. So the symptoms of a Brahmana are stated in Shastra, and one must be qualified with these symptoms. Then only you accept the person as a Brahmana. The blessings of Brahmanas who are not envious, disturbed or puffed up with pride and false prestige, right? You are puffed up with your material position. You are very proud of your material position, whether learning or your following. How many followers you have or how much wealth you have. Then, no, such a person is not a Brahmana. The blessings of Brahmanas who are not envious, disturbed or puffed up with pride and false prestige, and who are fully qualified with truthfulness, will be useful. If you can get the blessings of such Brahmanas, then their blessings will be useful. Therefore, a class of men must be trained. We need such Brahmanas. So they have to be trained. A class of men must be trained as Brahmanas from the very beginning. See? Then where is the Gurukul system? From the very beginning, they have to be trained. Now, there have been some problems in the Gurukul system, so we'll just stop the Gurukul system altogether. Is that the solution? Throwing the baby out with the bath water. The system is given in the Shastra. How you can reject it? Where else do we have to go? We will throw our children to the wolves then. So first of all, we should understand, educate, take the pain to educate yourselves properly. what is being said. And then, of course, the recommendation is not to hastily just jump into the field right away. That's not being recommended. But to completely close the book and say that, no, this is not possible. We are not following any of this. Then where will we go? Training brāhmaṇas is essential. What type of training are we getting now? We take our second initiation, and then where is the training? Who is training? A class of men must be trained as brāhmaṇas from the very beginning. Brahmachari Gurukule, see? Brahmachari Gurukule vasan danto guror hitam. Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto 12th chapter text 1. The word dantaha is very important. Dantaha refers to one who is not envious, disturbing, or puffed up with false prestige. Dantaha. With the Krishna conscious movement, we are trying to introduce such brāhmanas in society. Are we? In the present day? Are we training such brāhmanas from the beginning so that they will become dantaha? With the Krishna consciousness movement, we are trying to introduce such brāhmanas in society. Brāhmanas must ultimately be Vaishnavas. And if not, and if one is a Vaishnava, he has already acquired the qualifications of a Brahmana. Now we will say, because we are putting on tilak, so therefore we are Vaishnavas, right? And because we got initiation, we are Vaishnavas. So automatically we have all the qualifications of Brahmanas. When you say you have all the qualifications of Brahmanas, the qualifications are given. Being free from all those qualities. That is expected. When one is a Vaishnava, he is already a Brahmana, means he has all the qualities of Brahmana in him. Brahmanas must, why should we just shy away from studying these things, learning these things, and applying these things in our life? Why should we simply shut it off saying that, oh, all this is not practical today? We'll just chant our 16 rounds and we are going back to Godhead in this lifetime. And the 16 rounds, somehow or other, for in less than 2 hours, I will finish. And the remaining 22 hours, I will do whatever I like. Is that what Srila Prabhupada taught us? Brahmanas must ultimately be Vaishnavas. And if one is a Vaishnava, he has already acquired the qualifications of a Brahmana. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Srimad Bhagavad Gita 1854. The word Brahma Bhuta refers to becoming a Brahmana or understanding what is Brahman. Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. Who is a Brahmana? One who knows Brahma. Brahma means, yesterday in Bhagavad Gita we were reading, Brahma means absolute truth. Ultimately, absolute truth is Bhagavan. The last name in Bhagavan is Krishna, ultimate. So when you say Brahma, Brahma is Krishna. But Brahma can mean Brahman, Brahma can mean Paramatma, Brahma can mean Bhagavan. So, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. Brahmana is one who knows Brahma. That means basic qualification of a Brahmana is he is realized that he is not this body but his spirit soul. That's basic qualification of a Brahmana. Then his endeavors, his efforts will not be for this body. His efforts will be on the spiritual platform. That's a Brahmana. One who is Brahma Bhuta is always happy, Prasannatma. Na shochati na kaṅkshati. Because he is on the spiritual platform, he will not be lamenting or hankering for material things. Na shochati, na kaṅkshati. He is never disturbed about material necessities. Samaha sarveshu bhuteshu. Naturally, because he is on the platform, spiritual platform, when he sees others also, he doesn't see them on the material platform. Oh, this is black and this is white and this is Hindu and this is Muslim. Rather, he will see They're all Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, Brahma Bhuta. They're all spirit souls. They're all spirit souls. Samaha Sarveshu Bhuteshu. So spirit souls, they're all equal. He doesn't see one is better and one is less on the spiritual platform. This is the vision of a Brahmana. Samaha Sarveshu Bhuteshu. He is ready to bestow blessings upon everyone equally. Not that, oh, this is my friend, I will try to favor my friend. That is my enemy, so, I will avoid. That's not a Brahmana. Samaha Sarveshu Bhuteshu. Why? Because Brahma Bhuta. Na sochati na kaṅkshati. Mad bhaktim labhate param. Then he becomes a Vaishnava. So Vaishnava is higher than a Brahmana. Brahmana's qualification itself is so high, then what to speak of Vaishnava? Mad bhaktim labhate param. In this age, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur introduced the sacred thread ceremony for his Vaishnava disciples with the idea that people should understand that when one becomes a Vaishnava, he has already acquired the qualifications of a Brahmana. So the problem at the time was that people in society, there was this, more so at that time. I don't think it's so much now. It's really degraded in the present times. Maybe in the villages, little bit. But the caste system was so prevalent that those who were Brahmanas by birth, they would not accept even if one has surrendered his life to Krishna, he is living by the standard of devotional service, purely, completely surrendered his life to Krishna. They didn't want to give that person the position of a Brahmana. They are not authorized to worship deity because he has not taken birth in a Brahmana family. So therefore, on the authority of Shastra, again, Acharya doesn't do anything without the authority of Shastra. On the authority of Shastra, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, remember that famous article that so this was actually his speech that he had given. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was supposed to go there. So there was this debate between Brahmanas, and that means the caste Brahmanas did not accept the Vaishnavas as Brahmanas unless they were born in a Brahmana family. So to show who is a Brahmana and who is a Vaishnava, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was sent by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he actually made his statement there. In the first half of his talk, he glorified the Brahmanas like anything, quoting from Shastra. And they were all so happy, thinking that, oh, he's on our side. And the remaining half, he completely condemned how a Vaishnava is far beyond a Brahmana. And if one is a Vaishnava, he's already a Brahmana. Like that. So they were completely defeated. So that speech was given in the form of an article of Brahmana Vaishnava. So that was the situation of society at the time. Vaishnavas, and previous to this, before Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and even at the time of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Vaishnavas had no respect in society. After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then after the Goswamis, like 200 years later, there was such degradation that people would, because there is no Varnashrama system, devotees are transcendental. They're beyond Varnashrama. Yes, that's what Shastra says. But who is that devotee? A pure devotee, right? So I am neither Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and I am, Babaji. So when you say Babaji, Babaji means he's beyond Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Griya, all ashrams, Varnas and ashrams. He's beyond all Varnas and ashrams. That is a Babaji. So people would just go to Vrindavan as Babajis. But the problem is, you should see whether you have the qualification. So when you say Babaji means you give up all your duties. You leave home, grihastha ashram, no responsibility towards your family, towards your old parents, wife, children, no need, and no need to work. And you'll go to Vrindavan and you'll live by begging, easy life. But what is the whole purpose when you call yourself Babaji? That means you're surrendered to Krishna. What will a surrendered devotee do? Anyabhilashita shunyam, jnana karmadya navritam, anukulyena Krishna-śīlānām. This is what one is supposed to do. What does that mean? 24/7, one is doing Shravanam Kirtanam only for the pleasure of Krishna, without desiring any material, material result, or even not even desiring liberation. And that Shravanam Kirtanam which you are doing, that is not interrupted by any type of karma, jnana, etc. When one has that type of faith, then if he gives up his work, then that he will do that type of, that's the qualification is Dridha Shraddha. If you have Dridha Shraddha, then this is what you will do. But the problem was they left everything without getting Dridha Shraddha. They went to Vrindavan, and because they don't have faith to do Shravanam Kirtanam 24 hours, what will they do? Desires they are there in the heart. Then you become a mithyachari. You'll become a cheater. We see that when someone immaturely joins the temple, that happens in temples also. Oh, it's so wonderful in the temple, nicely, I like it. But then afterwards, when you're supposed to do all services and chant, but you don't have that determination to do this because you didn't get faith, firm faith you didn't get, then what will you do? You see people watching movies and whatnot, all types of nonsense, living in the temple. Same thing happened. In the name of Babaji, they went to Vrindavan, and there they're smoking and maintaining so many women and doing all sorts of illicit activities. So much so that in society, people, Vaishnava lost all respect. Nobody in society, the educated people, cultured people, if they heard the name Vaishnava, they would consider it's like a, if you want to, Hindi mein bolte hai, gali dena. English mein, I don't know what you say. If you want to call someone by a bad name, you would call him a Vaishnava. It was to that extent that a Vaishnava's position was degraded in society at that time. Then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is the one who revived. He coined the term Daiva Varnashrama to show people you cannot artificially jump to, say that externally I'm a pure devotee. It's better to be honest. Follow your duties. That's why he coined the term Daiva Varnashrama. And then when you get the qualification of Dridha Shraddha, then you will naturally perform pure devotional service. Meanwhile, you perform your duties honestly as prescribed in Shastra, following the Varnashrama Dharma in a simplified way with the goal of pure devotional service, not with any other goal, not with the goal of material advancement or liberation. No. This was the whole plan. And therefore, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is the one who started. He started the Brahmachari Ashram. Before that, where was Brahmachari Ashram? He gave the Brahman Diksha. Before that, where was Brahman Diksha? This Brahman Diksha was introduced by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur on the order of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Why? To gain that respect for Vaishnavas once again. Vaishnavas are not so cheap. So then when you say, oh, now you're following Brahmachari Ashram, Grihastha Ashram, Vanaprastha Ashram, there is no harm if you follow that even after you become a pure devotee. You won't feel the dependence on it in your heart, but externally you do that. Internally, and even, through your lips, continuously you'll be chanting Hare Krishna. And externally you will be setting example to others, being a proper brahmachari. Instead of saying that I'm a Babaji, I'm beyond all ashrams, and I will end up doing illicit sex with ladies in the dham. Which is better? That's why this was introduced. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur started the brahmachari ashram, sannyas ashram. Again, the head is most important, isn't it? In the body, what is most important? Head is most important. So therefore, he pushed this. Brahmanas, sannyasis, brahmacharis, like that. But then, the remaining work didn't get completed. The Grihastha ashram. When you say Grihastha ashram, then they have their occupational duties. Grihasthas have, Rasapriya, make sure you close the... Yeah. Grihasthas have their occupational duties. Then what type of occupational duties should they do? There is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra for their livelihood. That's why Srila Prabhupada said 50% of my mission is still not completed. Srila Prabhupada had to spread this movement all over the world. He had such short time. In that time he did. But this was his plan. And we can see over these years, if we had that setup of a society of devotees where we didn't have to depend on the outside world for our maintenance, for our livelihood, couldn't we be peacefully progressing in Krishna consciousness, don't you think? But unfortunately, it was not. First of all, it was not understood properly. Srila Prabhupada said the first step is you have to start a Varnashrama college, because we have to be educated about what is this Varnashrama system and how to apply it. It's not just about having some land and then just going there and growing our food. And then there's failure. So then we say, oh, we tried and it didn't work. No, not like that. It has to be a collective effort. This is meant for the whole society, more so than ever. Today, it is required, absolutely required, don't you think? Just look at how the situation of the world is now. We are so dependent, even for our everyday, day-to-day activities. Now, there won't be any gas for cooking. How are we going to cook and eat? But if we had our community where we had our system, which is dependent on land and cows, would we be so affected by this situation in the world today? Even now it is, at least now, I shouldn't say it's not too late, but at least now we should wake up. At least save the devotees. But somehow, I don't know why, no matter how much we talk about it, devotees seem to agree. They say yes, but no, nobody is really willing to take a step. I always remember that story. I think it's Panchatantra story, maybe another story, but of those 3 fishes. Yes? Once a fisherman comes in the evening and he decides, oh, in this lake there are fishes, I'll catch them. And when the fish, I think a frog or someone hears that and then, informs the fishes that he's coming tomorrow morning to take all of you. You better move from this lake to some other place. The first one fish says, yes, we need to go today itself. And the other 2 say, what is the proof that, what is the guarantee that he's going to come tomorrow? Maybe he will change his mind. Why should we give up the nice, comfortable situation we have now? Thinking of thinking of something which didn't happen. That's not intelligence. So one fish just left. thinking that I want to be safe. The other two stayed. And then the next day, lo and behold, the fisherman came. And he threw his net and caught 2 fish in that. There was another fish. The second fish, it pretended to be dead. On the spot, it used its intelligence. So the fisherman thought, oh, this is dead. So he was not very keen on, because it's dead. Where is it going to escape? It's dead already. So he just put it out. And when the fisherman was not watching, it just slipped and escaped. The third one was so lazy, he didn't even do anything after being caught. He just got caught and got killed. So, which category do we fall into? First, second, or third? Krishna consciousness is not, just on one side. It is all encompassing. It is not just about your spiritual life. Krishna consciousness is for your material life, spiritual life, everything. We should not separate it. My material life is different, and my Krishna conscious life is, once a week when I go and meet the devotees at the temple on Sunday, that's my Krishna conscious life. And whatever I'm able to do at home, that's my Krishna conscious life. And then I have my material life. And then I have to balance the two. Nothing like that. All this is false philosophy, balancing and all that. No balancing. We have only one life. Yes, because we don't have faith, firm faith, to do only Shravan Kirtan all the time. Therefore, I have to do some karma. But that karma has to be simplified. It has to be according to Shastra. And then I'm actually being a truthful person. And if I'm not able to do it immediately, then at least I'm looking for ways. I'm being honest. But if I outright say, no, this is not practical, this is not going to happen, this is craziness, then we are not being honest. But Brahmana has to speak the truth, right? In this age, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur introduced the sacred thread ceremony for his Vaishnava disciples with the idea that people should understand that when one becomes a Vaishnava, he has already acquired the qualifications of a Brahmana. Therefore, in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, those who are twice initiated so as to become Brahmanas must bear in mind their great responsibility to be truthful, control the mind and senses, be tolerant, and so on. Are we doing that? Therefore, in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, those who are twice initiated so as to become Brahmanas must bear in mind their great responsibility to be truthful, control the mind and senses, be tolerant, and so on. Then their life will be successful. Simply by show off externally, it's not going to help anyone. That person will not be helped, nor will others be helped by such person's blessings. When they actually bear in mind their great responsibility to be truthful, controlling mind and senses, and being tolerant, then their life will be successful. It was such Brahmanas that Nanda Mahārāja invited to chant the Vedic hymns, not ordinary Brahmanas. Ordinary Brahmanas means simply by birth, by caste, they call themselves Brahmanas, even though they don't have the qualification. It's not such Brahmanas. Verse 13 distinctly mentions hiṁsā-māna. The word mana refers to false prestige or false pride. Those who were falsely proud, thinking that they were Brahmanas because they were born in Brahmana families, were never invited by Nanda Mahārāja on such occasions. Okay? Those who were falsely proud of being brāhmaṇas because of being born in brahmana families were never invited by Nanda Mahārāja on such occasions. Because what is the use of such brāhmanas? Their blessings are not going to help anyone. Verse 14 mentions pavitra aushadhi. In any ritualistic ceremony, many herbs and leaves were required. These were known as pavitra patra. Sometimes there were nimba leaves, neem leaves, sometimes bale leaves, mango leaves, ashwatha leaves, or amlaki leaves. Similarly, there were panchagavya, right? Cow urine, cow dung, cow ghee, yogurt, milk. This is panchagavya. Panchashasya and pancharatna. Although Nanda Mahārāja belonged to the Vaishya community, everything was known to him. The most important word in these verses is mahā-guṇam, indicating that the brāhmanas were offered very palatable food of exalted quality. Such palatable dishes were generally prepared with two things, namely food grains and milk products. Bhagavad Gita 18:44 therefore enjoins that human society must give protection to the cows and encourage agriculture. Who is encouraging agriculture today? People think agriculture means it's a little bit of some kitchen gardening we will do. But growing our own grains and all, first of all, the government won't allow in some countries. That's why we need to have self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency means our food, our cloth, our housing, everything, our education system and our protection system. This is self-sufficiency. So, Bhagavad Gita 18:44 therefore enjoins that human society must give protection to the cows and encourage agriculture. Simply by expert cooking, hundreds and thousands of palatable dishes can be prepared from agricultural produce and milk products. Simply by expert cooking, hundreds and thousands of palatable dishes can be prepared from agricultural produce and milk products. This is indicated here by the words annam mahā-guṇam. Still today in India, from these two things, namely food grains and milk, hundreds and thousands of varieties of food are prepared. And then they are offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Chaturvidha Sri Bhagavat Prasada. Some Gurvashtakam. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati, Bhagavad Gita. Then the prasad is distributed. Even today in Jagannath Kshetra and other big temples, very palatable dishes are offered to the deity. And prasad is distributed profusely. Cooked by first-class brāhmanas with expert knowledge and then distributed to the public. This prasad is also a blessing from the brāhmanas or Vaishnavas. There are 4 kinds of prasad, chaturvidha. Salty, sweet, sour, and pungent tastes are made with different types of spices. And the food is prepared in 4 divisions, namely charvya, chushya, lehya, and peya. Right? The one that is sucked, then the one that is licked, and then that you, like that, you chew like that, and one that is cooked, like rice, and then you have, like the savories, like hard fried items, like that, 4 types. Prasad that is chewed, prasad that is licked, prasad tasted with the tongue, and prasad that is drunk. Yes, 4 types. Thus, there are many varieties of prasad prepared very nicely with grains and ghee offered to the deity and distributed to the brāhmanas and Vaishnavas and then the general public. This is the way of human society. This is the way of human society. Killing the cows and spoiling the land will not solve the problem of food. Now, people are not interested in agriculture, They're interested in real estate. Sell the land. This real estate business is like selling one's own mother for prostitution. Because of the 7 mothers, Mother Earth is also our mother. And we sell her, we make a business of her to make profit. This is how devotees also get implicated in sinful activities. But Mother Earth, Bhumi Devi is our mother. Just like a mother knows simply by feeling the child's body, she will know if the child is doing well, healthy or not. Simply by looking at the child, she will know. Mother Earth also, when we walk bare feet on the earth, this is actually Ayurvedic treatment, just for your information. Even proven in modern medical science. If you walk bare feet on the earth, not on the tar roads, right, mud, or on the lawn where there is grass, whatever imbalance of ions there is in your body, which is the cause of various diseases and various problems, pains and joint pains and this and that, whatever you have, it neutralizes, balances the voltage in your body. Every day, if you walk on the earth bare feet for at least half an hour, walk on the grass in the lawn or on the mud, just walk bare feet. You know what is the science behind this? From devotional point of view, Shastric point of view. Mother Earth, she is the mother. When we walk on her, she can feel what is wrong in the body that needs to be fixed. And she produces whatever you need to fix that problem. Where is that education in the world today? We are taught how to wear shoes all the time. We even cover the earth with all these tar roads. What to speak of doing agriculture? We're going far, far, far away from Krishna's system. And at the same time, we want to progress. We want to go back to Godhead. We'll get a culture shock if we go there, because we'll be so used to this type of life here, going in our cars and airplanes and etc. When we go there, when we see Krishna's walking bare feet and we have to walk bare feet on the ground, then we will think, what is this? So therefore, we should be prepared now itself, trained. Thus, there are many varieties of prasad prepared very nicely with grains and ghee, offered to the deity and distributed to the brāhmaṇas and Vaishnavas and then to the general public. This is the way of human society. Killing the cows and spoiling the land will not solve the problem of food. This is not civilization. Uncivilized men living in the jungle and being unqualified to produce. In the initial stages, when we don't have any other option, right? When we first meet the devotees and, we are working outside, we are just trying to continue. That's okay. That's understandable. But then we just accept that this is the way of life. That is wrong. We should actually start moving out, becoming independent of the demonic system outside. We cannot just say we will work for them, they will be our masters. It's like, you put your faith in what is he called? A butcher. And you expect that he's going to save you. He's not going to save you. If I say my protector is Krishna, if I'm honest, I must follow Krishna's system. This is not civilization. Don't you see in Srila Prabhupada's purports, his pain? This is the way of human society. Killing the cows and spoiling the land will not solve the problem of food. This is not civilization. Yet we still buy from them. We work for them. No. This is not civilization. Uncivilized men living in the jungle and being unqualified to produce food by agriculture and cow protection may eat animals. Is that the situation now? Why are people eating meat now, eating animals? And why are devotees just going along with that? Uncivilized men living in the jungle and being unqualified to produce food by agriculture and cow protection may eat animals, but a perfect human society, advanced in knowledge, must learn how to produce first-class food simply by agriculture and protection of cows. So devotees, please pay attention to what is Srila Prabhupada's vision. And Srila Prabhupada's vision is not separate from the vision of the Lord, of all the acharyas. And at least let it sink into your hearts. Think about it. Pray to the Lord to give some direction for help. How can we live our lives in a way which is pleasing to the Lord? I think I'll stop here. I'm not going to read Bhagavad Gita. It's way past time already. So, does anyone have any questions? I'll just let it sink it through for today. Yes, Mataji. Amal
Yes,
Singh.
Mataji. I'm also about to say that so much to think about. Like we hear it, but it has to sink in. We have to meditate on it and see like how we can, change things in our life so that of course, everything cannot be changed overnight, like you're saying, but it starts with thinking, how
Yes,
can I come out of this? How can I change things? How can I augment things that my life can be more simpler? Because it's really frustrating, even though, you don't even have to go outside your home to see the frustration.
right,
And you have, you, there is so much Prabhupada has given us. Is every family member coming up to speed? That itself is a challenge. Like we don't need to even step outside the home.
right,
So like if you want certain things to be followed and you want your children to do it, the how the world has, how the education system has, taken them away from what is most important itself is so uh, frustrating. Like you don't need to worry about the world or the society. Like if you can just bring like just the four, five, six people you have at home to the same platform,
yeah,
it becomes such a, like, I'm not trying to, I'm being honest. Like I want my kids to, read Bhagavatam, and whenever I tell, like, I can only go through them, and when I talk to them, I can, the best I'm able to do is to
right,
tell, today in my class Mataji said this,
right.
think about it, or I will just share few points.
Yes,
And probably that's all the time they have to
yeah,
listen to me. So when I tell them that you should read Bhagavatam, you should read Bhagavad Gita, allocate a time in your daily schedule, they're like, yeah, someday, once we are out of this situation we are in, or exams, I'm like, but who knows, that day would come or not come.
yes,
I
yes,
mean, how much Krishna has sanctioned, what he has sanctioned, we don't know. So we can only utilize what we have today. But then
right,
that also becomes such a challenge. So, but yes, you are right. it is frustrating, but we can only pray and meditate and ask Krishna to help. So,
Yes. But the thing is Mataji, the reason we are not able to, whether it is children or adults, it's the same story. The thing is, we go outside and work in their system, and there means the non-devotees. And non-devotees
Right.
also, what type of non-devotees? They are demoniac. They are demoniac. In what sense? It's godless. It's a
Right.
godless society. So their goals are totally materialistic and also demoniac way of achieving those results. So being in that atmosphere and maintaining Krishna consciousness at the same time and having the determination
And to do
to
it.
practice that devotional service. When they are in the association of devotees, when they hear from you, then for some time they feel, yes, I'll have to do. But most of the time they're outside there in that association. So then
That's the
they become
problem.
affected by that. So it's like whatever you're trying to put, it just keeps, like you put some drop of water in the desert like that. It just dries up. It just dries up. But the same thing, if they were in an atmosphere where everybody is working in harmony towards achieving, if everybody's goal is devotional service, then even their work area is actually helping them to progress in Krishna consciousness. That's what is happening. In simple words, the work atmosphere, study atmosphere is in the modes of passion and ignorance. And that is reacting and not allowing them to get that determination to sit down and think, stop for a moment. Too many things that are bombarding the mind, and so many, deadlines, targets that they have to meet. I don't have time for this now. And this goes on and on. Maya is never going to leave us alone saying that, okay, now you can practice Krishna consciousness. You have served me enough. Never. You can serve forever, but never will Maya say that, all right, now I'm going to let you go. No. You will have to let go of Maya. And the way you'll be able to let go is by surrendering to Krishna. Daivi-hesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya. You cannot overcome. She's very powerful. Mamevaye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. But to get faith in these words, when one is in the mode of goodness, then such words will stay. Such, they'll get some faith. So yes, what can we do? We can pray, we can try, we can speak, we can spend our energy in trying to make sense. I mean, that's the best we can do. And also, as far as possible within our capacity, we'll try to set the example for others by our, convictions, by our words, by our lifestyle. The best we are able to do. That's all we can do. And at the end of the day, Krishna is watching the sincerity of the devotee, whether the person is being sincere or not.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much for your honest, for honestly sharing your thoughts. I appreciate that, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's end here. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sāma Veda ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripaśyabhutevcha patitanam Nanda-gopaḥ ki jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.